Proper competition cars need proper wiring. Let's go and talk about how we do it here at P&K Thornton's. These are the most satisfying plugs in the world. Hello, welcome back to the wiring layer. Today we're talking about competition wiring. Those of you that go to Goodwood, Silverstone Classic and whatnot, you walk around the paddock, you look at a race car and something that you people that notice things will see that the wiring in a lot of competition cars is really, really poor. Obviously, most competition cars start as a road car and then be transformed into a race car. But in the process of doing that, you add things, you remove things, and you move things around. So something that a lot of people miss is actually building a bespoke wiring loom fit for the purpose of a competition car, which is not only safe and serviceable, but lighter as well. So old wiring looms use really thick wires like this one just here, where what we do is we use modern wires which are much, much thinner. So this little tiny thin wire here can carry 17 amps of current, where in an original loom, a wire similar to this size would be able to carry that. If you imagine all of those being that big, and the weight comparison it'd be pretty huge. And then we get on to the actual fuse box itself. So most classic cars have very little fuses, very little at all. I think off the top of my head, an E-Type has 8 fuses, six or 8 fuses. Where what we do is when we build a bespoke loom, we use modern fuses, and we split all the circuits up. So on an E-Type, for argument's sake, the wipers and the instruments are on the same fuse. So if something went wrong with the wiper motor, you'd lose your instruments, which on a race car is obviously that's your lifeline. You need to know what's going on. So what we do is when we do a bespoke loom, we split everything up. So this is actually for our Mark 1 FIA project that we're doing at the moment. So we've got, sounds ridiculous, but we've got 20 fuses, and we've got 8 relays in this bank here, and then there's 2 more that are going to go elsewhere. And you purists out there will be going, oh, that's ridiculous. Why on earth do you need all that for? You purists will be saying. But it's just for safety. We plan on doing the 6-hour meeting with this car. So in the process of doing that, you've got 6 hours of racing, and the car needs to see that through. So if you do have a fuse that blows on something that's not so critical, we don't have to come in the pit lane and stop and lose time. And then as we move down the loom, so most original wiring looms are either cloth covered, which catches fire, or PVC taped, which gets wet and allows oil and moisture to get in. So on a competition wiring loom, what we do is we use heat shrink. So we wrap the wires. I'll go on to wire wrapping in just a moment. So we wrap the wires, and then we cover it in heat shrink, which is shrunk down. And then wherever we have a spur coming off, we use adhesive heat shrink, which then stops water ingress going into it. So it's super reliable as we go on with it. And then again, as we move further down, we then go on to connectors, which is a massive world, and cost comes into a lot of it with connectors. The most expensive part of a wiring loom is actually all of the connectors. So these are Dutch DT range or DTM range that we use. So they're not only watertight, they're also super robust, super heavy duty, and easy to detect pieces in the field. So if you get an issue, you can deep in one of these plugs with ordinary tools. Basically, you don't need some special tool to cram in there and risk breaking anything. They're super reliable. They're not the cheapest things in the world, I admit. The expensive part is the actual pins themselves. The housings are relatively inexpensive, but they really do give good long-lasting service for the motorsport world. On an E-Type, they have like a real horrible trailer plug type thing on the bonnet. So on the race cars, we use a Dutch HDP 20 series connector, which is watertight on a nice bayonet, so you get super positive click lock. It uses the same pins as the connectors I previously shown you, which are, like I say, super reliable. These connectors, again, they're pretty inexpensive. Again, it's the pins that are expensive, but no, they give super reliability. And on the E-Type, I actually use these on the bulkhead as well, because it just makes it so much more modular from an aspect of working on the car, taking it to pieces. If there's any accident, damage, or anything like that, you can quickly get the wiring out of the way, do what's required, pop it back in again, and it's all clean, safe, and ready to go. So I've not let you all into my little nerdy secret about my my little bins. So we use QR codes, and then this is the box full of the beautiful connectors that we use. So yeah, we keep all these in, then we can build them to the job. Like I say, super reliable. These are the little teeny tiny pins. And then yeah, we keep them in all different sizes. And this gives you your reliable service to your competition wiring looms. And then we've got the right tool for putting them on. This is the thing that a lot of people forget about. Let me just have a rummage. Hang on a minute. Aha! Here she is. So this is the most expensive tool in the world. I'm not going to tell you how much it is, but it's eye-watering. But this is the proper tool for putting the connectors on. This is where a lot of people go wrong with connectors. So these connectors, like I say, not terribly expensive, but the tool to do the job correctly is. So that's my top tip. Buy the right tool if you're going to do it properly, or they fall off and don't work. So this is the dashboard that's going to go in the Series 1 E-Type FIA project that we're doing. So what we're going to use is, again, going back to super accurate gauges. We like stack stuff. Yeah, they're expensive, but they do good service, and they're accurate. They're stepper motored gauge and they work. But what we're going to do is we're going to retain all the original Series 1 switches, just because a race car doesn't have to be rough and ready. A race car can be pretty as well, and that's what we like to do. So we're going to use, in this area here, we're going to use the original switches. The ones this side we're not going to use because the driver can't reach them when he's buckled in. We've got the battery kill switch at the bottom, which will kill all the circuits if there's anything goes wrong. And then if we turn it around, you can see the back of it, which is much neater than original. You guys out there that's got an E-Type, if you flick your dashboard panel out and have a look how bad the wiring is behind there, you go, oh God, that's awful. But we make it all nice and neat, split things up. We've got our nice connectors again, so if ever you need to remove this component from the car for maintenance, servicing, whatever, it's all on plugs. They're all watertight, they're all pinned together so they can't fall out. And then we use nice anti-back-off connectors, though these will not come off unless you pull back the boot, so they'll then come off. So yeah, super reliable. All the gauges are all on multi-plugs as well, so nothing can fall out or rattle loose. We're using the original light switch, which I'm not overly keen about, but again, it keeps the aesthetics of the dashboard nice. So on these ones, we put some nice anti-shake washers so they can't fall off. So yeah, anti-back-offs, anti-shake, proper connectors, all nice and waterproof. Even though it's inside the car, you know, 6-hour meeting can get wet and gloomy and horrible, so we might get a bit of moisture kicking around in there. So keep everything as watertight as we can be, and that'll give super reliable performance and service throughout the life of the race car. So here at P&K Thornton Restorations, Nottinghamshire, we can do anything wiring-wise. I just want to add, not just competition stuff. We can do any make or model competition car, any classic car wiring loom, anything with fuel injection. You know, any classic cars having fuel injection put on it, we can do. So yeah, we're not biased to classic cars. We can do anything. We're not afraid. We get stuck into anything. But you guys out there with your old race cars, go and look at your wiring and go, oh yeah, actually, Paul at P&K Thornton's, aka the wiring wizard, is right. We really ought to do something about it. So if that's where you are, give us a call. We can give you some ideas of costings. The sky's the limit. You can have as much, as little. You know, we can put twinkly lights in the roof if you want us to. You know, we can do anything you like. If you want satnav, we can put satnav in. You know, anything, absolutely anything. When you're at the point of making a wiring loom from rolls of wire from scratch, we can do anything. So have a chat with us, come and have a meeting with us. We can do a write-up about what you need, where to go what. We can do dashboard schematics. So yeah, here's another thing that we can do, not just metalwork restorations. We can do wiring, we can do everything. So I think we should round it up there for today. I think I've blathered on for long enough about twisting bits of wires together, and this does this and that does that. So I think all that's left to say is thanks for watching. Please follow us on all of our social media channels, and keep a lookout for our next videos. Thanks for watching, guys. So that's me done for another hard day, twisting some wires together. I'm just going to head off home. Are my indicators working?